Hello everyone. Welcome back. And as you guys know, right, I was not well for the last few days. Can't able to be active in LinkedIn, and I can't able to be posting my Learn with Me series too. But I'm right now okay right now, and I want to get back as much as quick as possible. Why? Because I do have a lot of tasks to get completed. So let's start. So this is gonna be our Learn with Me session 3, where it's gonna be the continuation of the previous session. Why? Because in the last session we talked about the how to access like the Meta's lemma tree, and we find some mnemonic terms behind what lemma tree is all about, right? So finding the like we just named it like demystifying the Meta's lemma tree, and we worked with like the serverless event driven architecture where we can able to post, right? Just if you just have you if you have the meeting notes, you can just put it to the serverless driven architecture, and that will provide you the, or can I say, the summarized note and a very short and sweet way what and all needed for the meeting what we have. And we took a very good example of the conversation between the MS Dhoni and Mandira Bedi in a recent conversation. It's not a recent conversation, so could able to see the conversation, a great conversation. So I should like it's not going to be a big the same continuation, but because I would like to talk about this. Supposed to have talked about this when I was looking back into the previous session, but unfortunately I was can't able to take this down. But right now I want to take you this down. Why? Because whenever you're gonna work in an or any kind of application, say if you're gonna work with developing a new application, or and it's gonna be a full stack application or a machine learning application, generative AI application, any applications what you're gonna build, right? You should have the access to CloudWatch, right? Why more precisely to the CloudWatch is nothing but what and all you're gonna do inside your application. Say you're gonna send a request to a model, and you're gonna get an output from the model, and what are all the number of things which is very important, right? Where you're gonna focus on the parameters, like what's the temperature, what's the top underscore p parameter, and what's the model you're gonna call, and what is gonna be the model ID, and what is the output, and whether the output has been completed or not based on the number of output tokens has been generated, how much the number of input tokens has been generated, etc., and stuff like that. So that's very important. And right now in this session we're gonna work with that thing, right? We're gonna create some roles for the logs, what we're gonna create for the log roles, what we're gonna create, and we're gonna send it, and we're gonna use the Bedrock client to make sure to invoke the model, like invoke the model invocation logs for the log groups what we have created, and more focusing on we're going to use some other services like the cloud formation to create the IAM roles. Why? Because I don't want you to go directly to create your IAM roles in the IAM roles in the IAM service to get back to the point of view. But I just want to make sure that we need to use some other services to make sure that yes, this can also be done with those services. And if you guys are watching this video newly, and if you guys don't know about me, and yes, might be yes, I should say, right? If you guys don't know about me, my name is Rahul, and I'm a machine learning engineer, and I'm an AWS community builder and machine learning and generative AI category too. So let's put it into the thumbnail, right? What's the thumbnail consist of is logging the Bedrock access using the Bedrock client to access the CloudWatch log. So we're gonna trying to make sure to use the CloudWatch logs to make sure to send the Bedrock events to CloudWatch logs to to track the what may say Bedrock things what we're gonna work towards the models. So let's take a look, right, what we're gonna have in this session. So the session agenda is gonna be because if you guys don't know about what Amazon CloudWatch is all about, we are gonna take a quick overview about what Amazon CloudWatch is all about, and more precisely, how did I use CloudWatch for Amazon Bedrock. That's very very important. Why? Because right, what are the roles? What are the roles? What is the policy? What are the rules attached to the policy, etc. Stuff like that. And how we're gonna set up the IAM role, right? We're gonna work with an example where I'm gonna go to the VS Code. I'm gonna show you the policy. and we're gonna create the what I say IAM role using AWS Cloud Formation, right? So we're going to use the cloud formation templates to make sure to create the IAM role automatically from the console. All right, not from the console, from the VS Code by using some commands, using the CLI commands. Then finally, we're gonna test it out. After creating the IAM roles, we're gonna access the Bedrock. And first of all, before accessing the Bedrock, we need to put the Bedrock model invocation to the particular log groups what we're gonna create. And finally, we're gonna just check with some logs like how we're gonna just gonna send some kind of conversation to the Bedrock model what we're gonna invoke, and what may I say the model from the Amazon Bedrock to make sure that whether the logs has been created, what may I say actually taken back correctly or not so far. So what CloudWatch is all about? I just drafted this things. It could also be found. You can also found this and also leave like what are the things you can also take right now. These things are already available in the internet. I've just taken out from the Amazon's documents, and I've also read some books, right? So this is being taken out from the things. I'm just gonna overview why it, right? So the thing is all about that whatever you're working. Say if you're gonna work in an application in AWS cloud, right? That very important stuff is all about, right? Whenever you're gonna work in any kind of services, you need to know about the track of all the services what you're gonna work on to it. Say very simple, the logs behind it. So that's the major stuff. Like it is precisely mentioned in such a way that the Amazon CloudWatch is the management and governance AWS service. Why? Because as a user, right, we can able to create n number of architectures, right? We as builders and as an explorers, right, we can able to create n number of architectures. Say in the last session, we have created the serverless event-driven architecture. So to be more precise, we need to know what are all the things we have done inside it. Say we have accessed the S3 bucket and we gone back to like creating the events in events. They access the Lambda functions. We have used two Lambda functions to make sure that everything runs in a serverless environment. So to make sure that what are the things are happening, is there any errors happening inside? So that how we can able to find the errors as much as quick as possible. So then that's going to be the goal. Like we're gonna have the CloudWatch as a service. So which is gonna allow to collect and access and correlate the metrics, logs, and events data on a single platform from across all your AWS resources, application services running on AWS and on premises. Not only in AWS, on premises too. It can also work towards it, right? If you just want to connect your AWS cloud, like your on premises application to Amazon, and make sure to connect to Amazon CloudWatch so that it will work as much as quick as possible and work as much as precise as possible. That's not going to be the biggest issue. And so I've just seen this word, right? I was very wondered about this word, right? It breakdowns data silos, right? If we go over the silos, right? Silos are structures that stores bulk materials typically in a cylindrical shape to better understand the health and performance of your resource. Say that your application is going to be an entire stack, right? That stack is going to consist of all those things like the front end layer, the back end layer, the middle tier layer, and if you're going to use it right now, so everything, right? The storage layer and the machine learning and serverless server. So everything can be everything can be connected to an entire application, right? So what CloudWatch does is nothing but it breaks down each and every layer's presence in the application to be giving you in a such a way that yes. So then, what is the thing happening inside the front end layer? What is the thing happening inside the back end layer? What is the thing happening inside the machine learning layer, in serverless and blah blah etc stuff like that. So that you can able to keep track of the resources. Very important stuff. You can able to keep track of the resources, and as a user you could able to see what is the thing happening, where is there any issues happening in middle, or it works in a correct way, and you can able to track it as much as quick as possible and as much as easy as possible. And as I already said, the Amazon CloudWatch will help you to detect the anomalous behavior in environments, and it will also set the alarms, like say it has CloudWatch alarms, to make sure that if there is any issue happen, say if any anomalous behavior has been happened, you could set a CloudWatch alarm to make sure that yes, the alarm should be sent to me. Hey, listen, so this application is running in your AWS, but unfortunately an anomalous behavior has been happened inside your application. So that can also be done. and you can also visualize the logs. We're going to take a look at the logs right now in this session, so to make sure that yes, how the logs is going to be, and the metrics like the CloudWatch metrics side by side. So not everything, right? Not everything in the different places. In one single place, you can able to see the everything like the alarms, the logs, the metrics, everything. And once you have seen the alarms, right, that's the very important stuff. Once you have seen the alarms and once you have seen the log stuff like that, you could also take the automated actions and troubleshoot the issues and discover insights to keep your application running smoothly, right? So that's the stuff. And you can also integrate the Amazon CloudWatch to more than 70 AWS services, and moreover it also supports the cross accounts and cross region dashboards too, right? So yes, so this is what the CloudWatch, and as you guys know, if you were following the Amazon.coms and services, AWS services, you could able to see for each and every service AWS will release those things. So to be more disclaimer that I've taken from that thing. So like you could able to see what CloudWatch does. It collects the metrics, collects the logs, and monitor the services running inside an application or it's inside the on-premises, and it also takes the automatic response using the CloudWatch events in auto scaling and analyze it, right? Why? Because it's very very important. We need to find the anomalous behavior happening inside our applications too. And yes, so this is another stuff, right? What Amazon CloudWatch that can do also. So CloudWatch can correlate your metrics too. So what are the metrics can be taken? As I said, the metrics like you can also run the machine learning algorithms to make sure that yeah, how the thresholds can be done, how the predictions and classifications, and as you guys know, how we can able to detect the anomalous behavior with the help of CloudWatch metrics, with the help of the metric value based on the alarms which is going to be created by that, right? So this is the dashboard. You could able to see the dashboard, right? We could able to see the alarms, logs, and the metrics and x-ray traces, etc. stuff in the left hand side. And we're gonna just see the logs today, and we're gonna create the log groups to make sure that how it's gonna happen. Yes, so this is all about CloudWatch, and if you guys don't know about CloudWatch, get into a concise explanation that if you want to track of all the AWS services running inside your application, right, and not only inside your AWS cloud, it can also be in AWS, it's out of AWS cloud, say, and on premises too. Then CloudWatch is going to be the service. It's going to govern the services running inside your application. So that's the stuff. And so the question is, right, how did I use CloudWatch for Amazon Bedrock? That's the very important stuff. So what I'm going to do is nothing but first of all, I'm going to create the for Amazon Bedrock, right? For the Bedrock thing, I'm going to create a role to make sure that Amazon Bedrock should access the CloudWatch to send the logs of Bedrock. So this is what I've created here. Okay, so where I've created roles such that I'm going to create a role called as my IAM role, and I'm going to attach a policy called as my role policy. So where that policy is going to make sure that to make the Amazon Bedrock, so that whenever a model is invoked from the Amazon Bedrock, it should send the log streams to the Amazon CloudWatch. So this is what we're going to do, right? But this is not one single step, right? The step consists of, like, first we need to create a role, then we need to create a policy, then we have to create an S3 bucket for the large data delivery, and followed by that we need to create a log groups, and finally we have to send the things, right? I'm going to show you everything because I've created already to be processed. We'll just see the hands-on in a very quick way. Now, as I already said, right, how I'm going to set up the IAM role for the Amazon Bedrock to send logs to the Amazon CloudWatch. So that's nothing, but I'm not going to go directly create an Amazon IAM role for the Amazon Bedrock, but instead I do have a YAML or a JSON template. Say it's called as the infrastructure as a code template, like the CloudFormation template. So as you guys know, CloudFormation is another management and government service. Like what you can do is nothing, but you can also list down all the resources what you have to invoke in a file, and what in that file is going to be called as the IAC, which is infrastructure as a code template, and that you can use this template to create or update or delete the entire stack as a single unit, right? So if you have an entire application as an entire stack, say if you have a front end and you have what are the services going to be used, and you're going to have the backend, what are the roles to be attached, what are the policies to be attached inside one single file called as IAC, called as infrastructure as code. So what happens in this thing, if you just send this to an CloudFormation CloudFormation service or application composer, right? Composer is another service. It's a new service, right, which you also use to run your infrastructure as a code templates. And if you guys see this thing, right, this is the application composer canvas for the IAC template what I've created, which can be done easily through your VS Code itself. Because I do have an extension for the application composer, you can able to directly convert that into it. And so once it is done, right, so now what we're gonna do, right, so we're gonna send this JSON and YAML to like we're gonna create a stack, and we're gonna create a stack with all those role and policy, and automatically the role and policy is gonna be created. And the very important stuff behind CloudFormation template is nothing but you could also have like you can run your CloudFormation templates in CloudFormation Designer or Application Composer, application composer. And moreover, you can also create a CloudFormation template, right? Any of those three things, right? You can also create a CloudFormation templates in CloudFormation Designer, Application Composer, or inside your text editor. And it can be in JSON template or YAML template. I'll show you the two templates what I have used, and you can also take any of those templates what we have, right? So now let's have a look, right? So this is what I've created. It's a very short thing, but because as I said, right, this should be attached to the previous session itself, but right, I want to take you, right, we need to use other services. And if you guys see, right, this is one of the thing. But Mike Chambers has seen inside the deep learning.ai short course, but I don't know whether he have mentioned the entire explanation in a very brief way like this. So but I want you to listen to it and start invoking the model by attaching the Bedrock like the CloudWatch logs to it. So let's take a look, right? I'm gonna back to my VS Code. Why? Because I'm gonna show you three important files. The three important files here is gonna be, right, the CloudFormation template, like, which is nothing but the role what I'm gonna create. Finally, the policy, and finally the CloudWatch logs, right? That's gonna be the three things, right? The like first thing is gonna be this file, which is nothing but the IAM role. Like, this is the JSON file. This is the IAC template where you're gonna use this IAC template to create your IAM role. So it's gonna be simple, right? You could able to see the role name and what's the version, what's the statement. So we can refer it hello, and what's the service is gonna. That's a very important, right? So because we're gonna allow the Bedrock to, and this is my account, and this is the source ARN, like the account ID, stuff like that. So this is gonna be the role. The policy, you could able to see the policy is gonna be, I'm gonna allow to create the Bedrock log stream and put the log events inside the particular resource called as the Bedrock logs, what I'm gonna create in the thing. And this is gonna be my third file. That third file is gonna be like, I've created an helping class, and if you guys following me from the previous session, and I'll also attach the GitHub repo of this, but not only this particular thing. If you guys see that in the summarization part, you can also find the same things. You just go for the helping class, and you can also find the CloudWatch helper, where that CloudWatch helper will get into what are all the important things should be done inside the CloudWatch. Say what you have, if you want to create a log group, you have to print the recent logs, and these two things is enough for me for a particular while. And if you want more, and you can also do that thing too. So let's get back to this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a Bedrock client. Say Bedrock is equal to 3.client. Bedrock with the region name of US East 1. Why? Because I'm going to implement all those things in the Virginia region. And I'm going to create a CloudWatch object, and this is going to be the rules. Why? Because I'm going to create a CloudWatch group first of all. Right, I'm comment this for a while. Why? Because I've tested some word and to put in a picture. So I'm going to create a log group. Say CloudWatch.create log group is equal to log group name. And this is what the very important stuff, the logging configuration. But because this is what we need to go for the Bedrock point of view, and this is gonna be the name of the log group. This is gonna be the role what I'm gonna create through the CloudFormation stack. And finally, as I said, I'm gonna create an S3 bucket. For that S3 bucket, so these are the things. I'll just show you the S3 bucket what I've created. So this is the S3 bucket what I've created. Right now it's empty. Why? Because we haven't implemented it. I've already implemented, but I've deleted the objects which is present inside the S3 bucket. I want you to just see this thing part. Okay, that's very, very important, right? So just go for the permissions point of view, and just go for the bucket policy. I'm not gonna write I'm not gonna what do you say change anything, but I want you to show you why, because I haven't attached that in the VS Code to explain you, but I want to show you. So this is gonna be the bucket policy, why, because the policy of the bucket is very very important, where we gonna make sure that the Bedrock, the logs what we're gonna create it through Bedrock should come inside when, if it is gonna be a large data delivery. Say if it is going to be a very huge content received from the Bedrock model, right? It should be coming inside this S3 bucket too. That's the model stuff too, right? So this is what all about the S3 bucket, and remaining else is gonna be same, right? I'm just gonna put the model invocation logs, and you can just get the code content from a GitHub repo, and I'm gonna put. I'll share the GitHub repo inside in the description box below. Just take a look at this, and once all those things is done, right? Once we have done these things, and we're gonna get back, like I'm just gonna call the Bedrock runtime client to make sure that what's gonna be the prompt. That's so I'm gonna write an article about Mahendra Singh Dhoni, formerly known as MSG. So let's take a look, right? So what I'm gonna do, so first thing we are gonna create a role, right? I'm just go back to the role, and I wanna go and let's run this. First of all, I'm gonna use the CLI to make sure that how it's gonna work. I'm gonna open my terminal. I already what can I say, implemented it, so I'm just gonna clear it. So so first of all, I'm gonna create a stack. All right, I'm gonna create a stack called as IAM role, and the template body is gonna be the CloudFormation.json. You can also use this CloudFormation.yaml file too. Anything is anything will work. Either the JSON file, either the YAML file will work. That's not gonna be the biggest issue. So this is gonna be the CloudFormation.json file, and let me check my I'm sorry. So let me check my let me say the CloudFormation stack. Yes, I don't have any other let me say stack is available. Why? Because the name should be distinct. They should not the name of the stack name should not there should not be another identical stack name, right? That's the stuff. So let's run. Let's create a CloudFormation stack. Let's wait for a while until it gets completed. Yes, now the CloudFormation stacks get started. And if you just go back to the CloudFormation, and I'm inside my console, and let me reload it, you could able to see, yes, the stack has been started. And if you go for the events, you could able to see what are the events happening. Like we're gonna create the role stack first, and then I'm gonna go back to the IAM role and make sure that yes, it's gonna be created. Let's wait for a while. Let's just wait for 2 to 3 seconds until the stack gets completed. Yes, now you could able to see the stack gets completed, and you could able to see the role has been created automatically. Yes, the role has been created automatically. If you just see, the role has been created automatically, but we haven't attached the policies yet. So what are the policy? We have to make sure that model like the Bedrock should access the CloudWatch groups, the particular Bedrock log CloudWatch group what we're gonna create, and we're gonna create a log stream, and we have to put the log stream to it, right? That's the major stuff. So let's get back. I'm gonna run something called as describe the stacks to make sure that what has happened inside. So this is the stack what we already ran, and you could able to see the status of the stack, which is create complete. Yes, we are good to go. The stack has been created successfully. Now let's get back to create another stack with a policy point of view, right? So let's create another stack called as the IAM policy, right? I'm gonna create another stack called as AWS CloudFormation. Create stack with this is gonna be the what may I say the CLI comments. Okay, if you just see, just you can pass the video here, copy the comments, and so that you can work into it. And the stack name is IAM role attached policy with the template body as this IAM policy dot. Right. Let's run this. Yes, now the stack has been created. Now let's get back and let's reload. Yeah, now you could able to see the stack has been created. Now what this will do is nothing but it will find the my IAM role over here and attach the policy what we already have it over. That's gonna be. Let's wait for a while. Yes, now it's been started, it's been done, it's created. And if you go back here, you don't find any policies over here. Let's reload it. Now we could able to find a policy over here. Let's wait. Yes, now you could able to find a policy over here. Now we are good to go. Yes, we are good to go. Right now, what I'm gonna do, you could able to see I don't have any log groups called as Bedrock log groups. So let's get back to the code over here, and I'm just let me close this terminal for a while, and I'm gonna close this two things. So let's start invoking this. So first the log roots will be created. Yes, we are good to go. Yes, we have the things which has been attached to the Bedrock model invocation logs. Now what happens, a Bedrock runtime has been created, and we have asked the Titan Text Express V1 model, like just to, like, it's a question answering, right? Write an article about Mahendra Singh Dhoni, formerly known as MS Dhoni, right? So let's wait. Yes, now the output, I just take the output and to put the recent streams output out of it. Now let me get back to the CloudWatch. Okay, this is going to be the log groups what I already have. Let's reload it, and you could able to see a Bedrock logs has been created. And if you just see, I do have a log stream, and that log stream, if you see, if you open it, you could able to see all the information related about the recent call what we have made to Amazon Titan Text Express V1 model. Right, so you could able to see the operation is invoking the model ID, what's the input content type, what's the input text, what's the maximum tokens like the 4096, what's the temperature value, what's the top B value. This is the result. The token count is 543, the completion region is finished, the output token is 543. Everything needed for a GenAI perspective, what is needed. Right, so this is all about, right, working with the Amazon Bedrock. As I said, this is very important. As you guys know, you want to have a look, right? So you want to have a look, right? To be more precise, right? So you are supposed to make sure that whenever you are working in a GenAI perspective, and more precisely in AWS Cloud, right? CloudWatch is very, very important to make sure that what are all the services running inside an application. Yes, so thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Okay, I hope, right, I'll continue posting my videos, right, and when I was not well, I could able to see a lot of new releases in what can I say, Bedrock, more specifically Converse API, right? So the new video is coming up with the Converse API. I'm gonna just show the, what can I say, the difference between the normal Bedrock model invocation through Bedrock client, Bedrock runtime client, versus the Converse API, how we're gonna work with the Converse API. So let's see the comparison, let's see the number of lines of code. I'm just gonna make sure to write inside my VS Code to make sure that everything happens in this basis. So yes, so if you find this video useful, right, if you find this video useful, right, just take a look at the blog. I'll push the link to the blog, push the link of the blog in the description box below, and you can follow me in LinkedIn. Like, you can just find me in my face right now. I've changed my profile pic, Rahul Gopal, and if you want to interact with me, you can just put a message in LinkedIn. And as you guys know, if you're new to the video, right, I've already started a newsletter. I'm very much, right, since I was not well for the last 1 week, I can't able to push any kind of, what can I say, newsletters series to, right. So from tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you could able to see the new releases of my newsletter will be upcoming. So if you haven't subscribed it, go ahead and subscribe it. We will be seeing a lot of GenAI releases inside the newsletter. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. And if you have any doubts while implementing the code, leave a comment. I'll happy to help you back. And let's see in the next Learn With Me session, or in a very beautiful session in as much as quick as possible. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for listening. And let's see in the next video.